mentor, author, inspirational speaker, and a child of the Most High God. Amen. Amen. Thank you, Brother Mike. That was a powerful prayer. Message. Now, I graduated here in 1999. Coach Jackson was the defensive coach at the time, and I played cornerback. I also ran track. Some of the coaches I was there are here today: Coach Josh, Coach Davenport, Coach, who was I missing? Coach Joseph. And it's a blessing to be here. I feel at home right now. How y'all feel about tomorrow? I feel good? Where my kings at? I can't hear that. A little bit of hoorah. Where my kings at? Hoorah! Say it a little louder. Y'all got some bass in your voices, y'all seniors and juniors? Yeah. Where my kings at? Hoorah! All right. That's what I'm talking about. Y'all now know, right? That says a lot. You guys have the opportunity to make history, a legacy. Y'all understand that, right? Yes, sir. Deerfield Beach High has never won state championships in football. Am I mistaken? You guys have the opportunity to do so. St. Thomas ain't nothing. I know y'all say St. Thomas, right? Sure. I ain't think so. Back when I was in school, we used to play against St. Thomas. It was past business. It was personal. As a matter of fact, going back to 1999, if I could rewind for a little bit, I'm gonna start off to you guys with a little joke. Well, a funny story. My senior prom, I had got a Jaguar. I think it was like a 1998 Jaguar. It was all black, peanut butter guts. Y'all can imagine that? It was my cousin's car. So I get the car, I'm swerving the school in it, looking good. And that night, well actually the prom was the next day. So when it came time for the prom, I'm going to the malls, picked up a couple of females, hanging out with my homeboys. And 2 hours before the prom, the system in the car blew out. Can you imagine that? And I couldn't find nobody to fix the car. The sound system. And I ain't had no money. You guys got money in here? Everybody broke in here pretty much? That's only temporary, you know that. But, being a student, you ain't got no money. So I ain't got no money to pay nobody to fix the system. So I'm going to come to the prom with the system that ain't working. So me and my brother, we hustling, we bustling, we going to different doors, different neighborhoods, and just knocking on everybody's door, literally. Man, y'all know somebody can fix the system? And I kid you not, 30 minutes before the prom started, we found somebody who would do it for us. And what he did was, he asked me how much money you got in your pocket. I think I might have had like $15 or something. He said, okay, I'll take the 15. Because normally they would charge like, $50, $75 to fix what was going on here. It was a very extensive, work done in the car. But anyway, me and my girl pop up to the prom. I think we got there like almost 3 hours late towards the end. But the moral of the story is I never gave up. And that's what my book is about. As a matter of fact, this is the book right here. The Courage to Believe. And this book is a collection of different stories of, how I grew up, where I grew up in Pompano, actually Cyprus. Y'all familiar with Cyprus? My parents came here from Haiti back in the late 70s. I was born in 1980. Single parent home, in the ghetto, guns, drugs, the whole nine. Back in the 90s, things ain't been as crazy as it is now, but back in the 90s, like Soulja Slim used to say, if you made it through the 90s, you was a gangster. It was that crazy out there back then. You would have SWAT team coming out of ice cream truck. Did you imagine that? You ever seen that before? You seen that before? That's how crazy it was. They had to jump out of ice cream trucks just to, creep up on people. But my mom, being a woman of God, she refused to let us succumb to our environment. So she kept us in church. And eventually, I started hanging around the wrong friends. And what happened with that was, by the time I got about 21, I went to the University of South Dakota on a scholarship running track. But by the time I left South Dakota and came back to South Florida, I ended up hanging with some friends who were doing all kinds of things. Even though we grew up in high school together, in middle school and all that, I came back and my mom knew I was going to hang around with the same friends, but they all slanging drugs, they robbing people, some of them were paying prostitutes. You know what I'm saying? So it was kind of crazy. And that old saying that birds of a feather flock together is very true. It literally almost cost me my life. I ended up getting involved in this robbery, which really was a burglary, but charged as a robbery. And I did like 9 months in jail. The only reason why I only did 9 months in jail and not go to prison was because I had a record of being in school. You know what I'm saying? Because I had it on my resume. So the judge was like, okay, you go back to school, we'll give you a light sentence, but you have to get your degree. So that was a challenge. The place before me was to get my degree. And what made that so difficult to get my degree was the fact that I was on papers. And when you're on papers, which is probation, it's like you're on the streets, but you're on thin ice. You're literally in jail, but you're on the streets. Any wrong move, you get locked up again. So every other week, I was catching a technical charge. And what that is like not that you call a case, but you violated probation, whether it was a drug test, which I never failed a drug test, thank God, or you didn't pay your money on time, yada yada. But eventually, I got my degree because I was determined. Now, I don't know how I did that, other than the grace of God, because you can't study when you're in jail. So literally, I could be having a final exam going on, or about to happen, but instead of studying, I'm behind the walls. So how you gonna study like that? It's impossible. So eventually when I would get out, which would be after 48, 72 hours, I hit the books like crazy because I was determined I wanted to be somebody. Because I knew in my heart I was a champion. Just like each and every one of you are a champion. You have to wake up in the morning with champion on your mind. You have to pray when you wake up in the morning as a champion. You have to go through your day like a champion. You have to study like a champion. Practice like a champion. Because that's what you are. Am I right or wrong?
Sure.
Am I speaking about the champions in here?
Sure.
Tomorrow night you guys are going to go 10-0. By show of hand, how many believe that? Now how are you going to execute that? You're going to play like a what?
Champion.
You're going to tackle like a what?
Champion.
You're going to score like a
Champion.
Amen. And that's what you got to do. You got to be obsessed with that victory, so to speak. Put your mind on that. Now winning isn't everything. And I never mind losing, as long as I put my best. Now if I didn't give it all I had on something, and then I lost, I'll feel bad. But life, I've learned one thing. Everything matters. Every word you speak matters. When I'm speaking to someone, I have in mind that I'm talking to royalty. Like when I speak to a young lady, I call them the queen. And they love that, by the way, just to let y'all know. And it's even better when you treat them like a queen. Because they are. And so when I'm speaking, I speak as if I'm giving you a gift of gold, so to speak. To be a blessing, not to curse anyone. Because I don't curse, I try not to curse. Because I don't believe in cursing, I believe in giving blessings. And God blessed me with the opportunity, and I told the Lord, if you give me an opportunity to get back out here in the streets, I can easily be dead, or doing a life sentence right now, or doing a whatever, 50, 60 year bid. I have plenty of friends and family doing that right now as we speak. As a matter of fact, my youngest brother doing a life sentence right now. I have about 10 friends and family members doing over 50, 60 years because they didn't cherish their life. It can all start with your words. Because your words set the tone for your future, believe it or not. I practice something called SBE. It's speak it, believe it, and execute the plan. Now I want you guys to say after me. Speak it, believe it, execute the plan. Now what plan am I talking about? The plan that you have for your life. This is going beyond football, because after you guys whoop St. Thomas, life goes on. Now I know each and every one of you have some sort of goal or dream that you want to accomplish in your life. Anybody here has a goal that they want to be at about 25? What is that? I can't hear you. NFL player? Playing what position? Say it again? DN? Okay. Anybody else? Outside of football? Any architects, doctors, lawyers, authors? Go ahead. Can't hear you.
Franchise owner.
Oh, franchise owner. That's what I'm talking about. So what are you doing right now to accomplish that? The grades? You got to be doing more than that. As a business, I'm an entrepreneur. I've started a couple of businesses. I didn't even mention that. So glad you said that. You're going to be creating a lot of business plans. You have done one before? Ask around your, what grade are you, a senior? You're 10th grade? Perfect. Find out from your counselor if there's a business program where you can learn how to do business plans. So you're going to need that. That's like the Bible to your business, to let you know what to do, how you're going to do it, and it makes it more real for you. As far as your budgeting, your marketing, your target audience, which is very important because you just can't have a business, don't know who you're going to be promoting your business to. You got to know that. But that's good though. Now, SBE, speak it, believe it, execute the plan. What that means to me is that you speak the things you want in life, like faith. In, if I'm not mistaken, Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is a substance of things hoped for with evidence not seen. Which means that just because you don't see it, doesn't mean it can't happen. You just gotta believe. You gotta have the courage to believe. And that's why I wrote the book, The Courage to Believe, because I want to come back in situations like this to give back to my young king. Because that's what you are, royalty. And you gotta believe that. Now, there's one thing I'm going to speak before I excuse myself. I'm not sure when, only God knows. But mark my words, one day I'm going to come here during a football game, halftime, in the helicopter, to give the school a check or a student a check for their scholarship. That's a dream of mine that I want to do. Now, if I have a helicopter, what else would I have? Money, definitely. But how much money? You gotta be a multi-millionaire to understand like that. I wish it could be tomorrow. But I'm gonna do that. I wanna do things in the community. That's what you guys must strive to do. Give back to the community. Like Big Mike just did. He prayed for you, he was in the NFL, excellent athlete, but now he's giving back to the community, giving back to those behind him. And you guys are gonna leave a legacy of champions. That's what you're gonna be. I truly believe you guys will win the state championship. Don't y'all? Sure. How bad you want it? Can I get a hoorah?
Hoorah!
That's all I get? Can I get a hoorah?
Hoorah!
You guys are tripping. But anyway, that's all I have to say. I thank you. I bless you all. Please go to my website. I'm going to be filming a documentary called The Courage to Believe. And with that documentary, I'm going to be going to the schools and prisons interviewing people to share their inspirational stories. As a matter of fact, we're going to start filming in December. And I'd love for you guys to either take part in it or tell your family.